Lily Sullivan was just 6 years old. Jack, only 4. At their age, life should have been simple, running through fields, chasing butterflies, painting messy pictures at the kitchen table. They should have been arguing over crayons or giggling through bedtime stories, safe in the warmth of their home. But instead of laughter, we are left with silence. Instead of crayons and picture books, their faces are printed on missing posters. 2 children who should have been living in innocence are now reduced to names in a cold case file. On April 29, 2024, Lily and Jack Sullivan vanished from the quiet town of Landown Station, Canada. The case should have shocked the nation. It should have been everywhere. Headlines, vigils, investigations burning with urgency. But instead, silence. A silence so loud it speaks to something darker than just 2 missing children. A silence that points to neglect, to failure, and to a world that looked away when it mattered most. And here's the haunting question. If Lily and Jack had been born into wealth, if cameras had swarmed their home, if their story had been glossy enough for primetime TV, would we still be searching for answers today, or would the truth already be out in the open? Before we dive deeper, I need to ask you something important. Don't scroll away, don't be silent, hit the like button, share this video, and subscribe right now to Hidden Truth, because every click, every comment, every voice raised here is a stand against silence. It's a way to say, these children matter. Drop a comment below telling me where you're watching from, because when the day comes that this silence is broken, I want to send my gratitude straight to you, because silence is complicity. And if we don't speak their names, Lily and Jack risk being forgotten twice, once by their town and once by the world. Setting the stage. April 29, 2024. It was just another spring morning in Landown Station, a small rural town tucked quietly in the Canadian countryside. The kind of place where children ride bikes down gravel roads, where neighbors wave at each other from porches, where nothing truly bad is ever supposed to happen. On that day, mothers were hanging laundry under a clear sky. Farmers tilled their fields. Children should have been playing tag in backyards or chasing their dogs through tall grass. For Lily and Jack Sullivan, it should have been no different. Just another ordinary day in a childhood too young to know fear. But within hours, that illusion of safety shattered. The Sullivan home became the center of whispers and soon of dread. By May 2nd, both children were gone. Not hiding, not lost in the woods. They had vanished. The red flags before the disappearance. Lily was 6, a bright, curious little girl who loved painting and twirling in her backyard. Jack, her younger brother, was 4, full of energy and mischief, always following Lily wherever she went. They should have been safe. They should have been laughing, growing, exploring the world under the care of adults who were supposed to protect them. But warnings had already begun to surface. Jack had been seen with a bruise on his face, unexplained and unaddressed. Neighbors whispered about raised voices behind closed doors, uneasy that something wasn't right. School notes mentioned absences, small cries for help that were filed away, forgotten in piles of paperwork. Social services had been called, but no one acted with the urgency these children deserved. These were not whispers in hindsight. These were red flags waving in plain sight. And yet, day after day, no action came. The world, the very people charged with protecting Lily and Jack, looked the other way. Imagine for a moment, if these warnings had been taken seriously, if the cries for help had not been buried under bureaucracy, would we even be here talking about their disappearance? Or would they be at home today, safe, smiling, and growing up like any other children in a small town? The tragedy wasn't just that they vanished. The tragedy began long before, when the signs of danger were ignored. When silence took root, it became the shadow that would follow Lily and Jack all the way to their disappearance. The day they vanished. By the evening of May 2nd, the unthinkable had happened. Lily, 6, and Jack, 4, were gone. Not wandering aimlessly, not playing hide and seek. They had vanished. Initial reports were tangled in contradictions. Their mother gave one account. Their stepfather gave another. Neighbors tried to piece together what they had seen or thought they had seen, but every story clashed with the next. The more people spoke, the deeper the confusion grew. Searches began immediately. Posters were printed and plastered on telephone poles. Volunteers combed the nearby woods, fields, and streets. But even as the town scrambled for answers, critical details slipped through the cracks. By the time authorities arrived in full force, days had passed, memories faded, evidence was mishandled, and the early hours, when a child's life is most vulnerable, were already lost. This was not a case of children who simply wandered too far. This was a disappearance rooted in chaos, in contradictions, in the failure of adults who were supposed to protect them. And as the days turned into weeks, one terrifying truth became clear. The world had begun to look away. If you're watching this far, you care. You see what too many others have ignored. So I need you to do something right now. Hit subscribe to Hidden Truth. Join this community that refuses to let silence win. Follow us as we fight for justice, not just for Lily and Jack, but for every child whose voice has been stolen. Silence is powerful, but together our voices are louder. The investigation and its failures. When children vanish, every second counts. Every lead, every witness, every piece of evidence should be treated as urgent. But in the case of Lily and Jack Sullivan, urgency was replaced with hesitation. The RCMP responded, but their actions were slow, their reports delayed. Interviews that should have been conducted immediately were postponed until memories had already faded. Evidence sat uncollected for hours, sometimes days. Critical trail camera footage that could have shown movements near the wooden bridge where Lily's metallic star sticker was later found, was withheld, delayed long enough for the trail to grow cold. Even basic details didn't line up. Where the parents claimed to be didn't match GPS data from their devices. Timelines conflicted with witness statements, and instead of pressing for answers, investigators allowed contradictions to linger. The investigation should have been relentless. Instead, it became a picture of delay, confusion, and inaction. And as silence stretched on, responsibility shifted, not just onto the adults who should have intervened, but onto a community and a world that had already begun to look away. The clues left behind. It's the small details that haunt the most. The GPS data, the surveillance footage, the metallic star sticker from Lily's jacket found near a weathered bridge. Each clue was a breadcrumb. Each one should have been pursued with urgency, but instead, they became part of the silence, a silence that buried truth under hesitation and neglect. When two children vanish, the mind naturally searches for answers. Was it a stranger lurking in the shadows? Or was the danger inside the home? Or the most chilling theory, was there a cover-up to protect reputations, institutions, or individuals? Every unanswered question circles back to the same haunting truth. Silence protects the guilty and punishes the innocent. Right now, I need you to stand with us. Subscribe to Hidden Truth. Join the fight for Lily and Jack. Follow this community that refuses to forget, because if we stay silent, these children will be erased, not just from Landown Station, but from the memory of the world. So comment below. Tell me where you're watching from. Tell me what you think really happened, because silence is complicity, and silence is how children disappear twice. The aftermath and the silence. Nearly a year has passed since Lily and Jack vanished. No arrests, no charges, no confirmed sightings. 2 empty chairs at the table, 2 dusty school desks, 2 birthdays that slipped by with no candles lit. The $150,000 reward still hangs like a false beacon of hope, but the truth is, money cannot bring them back. It cannot undo the failures that led to their disappearance. And yet, even now, national media has moved on. International attention never came. The world has allowed silence to swallow Lily and Jack. Lily was 6. Jack was 4. They should be chasing butterflies. They should be coloring their hands with crayons. They should be laughing through bedtime stories. Instead, they are missing, and silence has become their shadow. Don't let silence win. Like this video. Share it. Subscribe to Hidden Truth, because every click, every comment, every voice added here is a stand against the silence that failed Lily and Jack. We cannot let them disappear twice, once from their town and once from our memory. So speak, share, act, because Lily and Jack are still waiting, and the world must not let silence be the final word in their story.